Hey guys, what's up? Back with another video, and on today's video, I'm going to do my AEW Dynasty predictions for this coming Sunday, April 12th. So let's get it on, shall we? We've got 9 matches to go through, so let's do some predicting for some AEW Dynasty. Kicking off with the pre-show matchup, we have Alex Windsor taking on Marina Shafir on the pre-show. I'm going to go with Marina Shafir on this one. Marina Shafir needs a big win after that feud with Toni Storm, after coming up short against Toni Storm at Revolution. I think Marina Shafir needs a win to keep the Death Riders momentum going. So I think Marina Shafir for the win on the pre-show. Next matchup, we have the AEW Tag Team titles on the line as Cope and Christian look to get the Tag Team titles from FTR, as FTR defend the Tag Team titles against Cope and Christian. After what happened on Dynamite this past week with Christian getting his arm Pillmanized in the steel chair, I think that's the excuse that they will use for Cope and Christian losing in their home country of Canada. So I think FTR get the win on this one. Also, FTR need a win over Cope and Christian anyway, because Cope and Christian did win the first match in Toronto at All Out last September, so before power driving Phoenix. I do think that FTR need to retain here, because Cope and Christian, I think they can win it some other time, maybe down the line near, close to Wembley, All In Wembley in a couple of months' time. But I do think FTR will win this one, and I think that injury to Christian on the go-home show is kind of the excuse to have Cope and Christian lose to FTR. Which most likely means they're going to win. Anyway, next matchup we have the Continental Championship on the line as Jon Moxley defends against the returning Will Ospreay. I'm going to go with Jon Moxley on this one. I want Will Ospreay to do bigger things than the Continental Championship. I know this is kind of like a revenge match for Ospreay after what happened at Forbidden Door last August. Him wanting revenge on Jon Moxley, but I do think that Ospreay doesn't need the Continental Championship. He can go for the world title going into Wembley season, especially with the Owen Hart tournament coming up in the next month or so after Dynasty. So I do think Jon Moxley should retain the Continental Championship, because I think Will Ospreay needs to do bigger and better things, which is the AEW World Championship going into Wembley Stadium. Next matchup we have Andrade El Idolo taking on Darby Allin. I'm going to go with Darby Allin to pick up the victory. If Darby picks up the win, he will get an AEW title shot next. He'll be the next in line for the AEW World title. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think Darby's next in line for the AEW World Championship going into Double or Nothing. Next matchup we have the AEW Women's World Championship on the line as Tekla defends her Women's World Championship against Jamie Hayter. As much as I love Jamie Hayter, I think she's awesome. I don't see her beating Tekla for the championship. I think the Brawling Birds of Alex Windsor and Jamie Hayter will go for the tag team titles going into Wembley. So I don't see her winning the championship from Tekla here. I think another big successful title defense for Tekla. As we move on to the next matchup, we have the TNT Championship Casino Gauntlet. This is of course, the vacant championship after, unfortunately, Kyle Fletcher suffered an injury a couple of weeks ago on Collision, and will be unable to defend the championship, so we have to vacate the title. So we're going to have a Casino Gauntlet to determine who the new champion is going to be. I'm going to go with Tommaso Ciampa. There's only 2 names as of right now who are being named for the match, which is Ciampa and Rush. So I think it's probably going to be Tommaso Ciampa. You go back to Ciampa being the champ, and maybe him and Mark Briscoe can fight over the championship going into the summer. So there's my pick for that one. Next matchup we have the Young Bucks taking on Okada and Takeshita, representing the Don Callis family. If the Don Callis family win, then Okada and Takeshita can face each other for the International Championship at Double or Nothing. So that's exactly what I see happening. I think Okada and Takeshita will beat the Young Bucks, and then of course they will face each other at Double or Nothing for the International Championship, because that's what everyone wants to see in AEW, where is Okada versus Takeshita to finally meet in an actual proper one-on-one match that isn't a tournament setting that was World's End back in December. So I'm going to go with Okada and Takeshita. Next matchup, we had Chris Jericho, Le Champion, Le Sex God, whatever you want to call him, the Ayatollah Rock and Roller, makes his AEW pay-per-view return on the pay-per-view that we last saw him on last year at Dynasty, where he lost the ROH World title to Bandito at last year's Dynasty. This year, he comes back as a babyface, and he's going to take on that bold twit, Ricochet. I'm going to go Chris Jericho to pick up the victory. It's his first pay-per-view back, and I think Ricochet is an easy win for Le Champion, baby. So I think Chris Jericho picks up the victory over Ricochet. And that brings us on to the main event. We have MJF defending the AEW World Championship against Kenny by God Omega in Canada, in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. I'm going to go with MJF to retain. I think it's him and Darby at Double or Nothing for the championship, MJF versus Darby, that is. I think Swerve might get involved in this match and cost Kenny the match, and that leads to Swerve and Kenny down the line in their third match. But yeah, as I said, I'm going to go with MJF to pick up the victory and retain his championship at Dynasty. So a very sad ending, just like it was going to be at Revolution, where Hangman lost to MJF and can't receive the championship ever again. Well, he gave his word, but yeah, I think MJF will retain here, and it will be another sad ending coming out of Dynasty, but this time will be plenty as the obstacles start to move in place for Double or Nothing going into the summer as we start to head into Double or Nothing season, then the Owen Hart tournament, and all those good stuff that happens there, and of course AEW All In Wembley coming up in the summer. So it should be a fantastic summer for AEW, hopefully. But yeah, that's going to be my predictions for AEW Dynasty. Hope you enjoyed them, guys. Tell me what you think in the comments. Leave me a like if you deserve it, and I'll see you guys on the next video, whenever that may be. But until next time, much love and peace. I'm out.